Conditioning. Most people have been conditioned their whole life, trained to do something they're not even aware of. Do you know what you've been trained to do? And more importantly, how to break out of it? How's it going, everybody? Brandon, this is Matt, and this is Breakthrough Stories. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about conditioning. So obviously, we're not talking about hair product. We're talking about something in your everyday life that we all deal with that we don't even know about most of the time. There's been a lot of people that have written about this. Usually it's one of those light bulb moments where you go, oh man, I didn't even know.
I can't believe I did that.
Yeah, I didn't even, we don't have a mirror for something like this. And there's a reason for that. So in our everyday life, we're surrounded by things, our location, our society, our church, our religion, our people around us, our job,
Food,
yeah, everything around us is a little part of who we are and kind of dictates in a way how we respond to things, and we don't even know it. That's kind of the essence of conditioning, right?
Yeah, I think that we conform ourselves to what is comfortable for us because our nature says find the comfort, seek the comfort. And even though we're not trying to do that, a lot of times comfort is not what helps us grow. Marcus Aurelius, going back to him again, he always says comfort is the worst addiction. And so whether it's food or our TV time, or what we choose to put in our bodies through our eyes or our ears, those things are usually things that we grew up with that we didn't change because we never questioned them because we were never taught to question them. And then we're grown adults and we look up one day and say, why have I been doing this for 25 years? And have no explanation other than that's the way we do it.
Mindset, beliefs, tradition.
Mainly limiting mindsets.
Yeah. Not just us, but I don't know how your money mindset is, but if you grew up in a family that saw a Cadillac pull up next to you and go, I wonder who they cheated to get that.
It must be nice.
Yeah, it must be nice. That's a mindset, and that's just who you're around. It doesn't make people bad people to have that. It's just what they were conditioned with when they grew up. Every part of the world has a different story about this, and ours is no different. So you've heard about the fleas-in-the-jar story. Yes. So for those of you who haven't heard about it, fleas jump a lot. They can actually jump up to, it's either 20 times their height to 200. It's a lot. They can jump. Okay. So if they tested this and you put fleas in a jar, after they start hitting the top, obviously. And if you wait a while, they get conditioned to where they just jump just shy of the lid of the jar. So if you wait long enough and you take the lid off, they actually will not jump out. They've conditioned themselves to only jump so high. That's just how high they think they can jump. They've been conditioned. That's now their limit. They have limitations on themselves, set by their parameters, right?
They had a negative outcome for something that they were trying to do repeatedly over and over and over again. And this is like everyone's story, probably in the entire world. At some point you hit a wall of some nature that makes you go, that hurt financially, that hurt emotionally in a relationship, that hurt. I don't want to repeat that mistake. And sometimes we look at that thing as a mistake when really is what's required of us is persistence, continued persistence to make it through that obstacle. What was the other example that we had about?
I've been reading Steve Harvey's book, Think Like a Success.
That was it.
And it just reminded me of something that I learned when I started my journey is he calls it cruising altitude. Mr. Rohn, Jim Rohn, calls it the rule of 5.
Oh, yeah.
So take the 5 people that you hang out with the most. It doesn't matter if it's your family, your best friends, your people at church, just who you hang out with a lot, your golfing buddies. Just take the 5 closest people to you and average them out. You can literally pinpoint your salary, your beliefs, what church you go to, what school you go to,
your emotional state,
when you're going to retire, where you're going to live. It's all more or less an average of the 5 people you're around.
Yeah.
So I like how Steve calls this cruising altitude because he thinks of it as a mindset. You're a conglomerate of the mindset of those around you. So as he went through his journey and he literally calls it escape certain groups and certain
Yep.
mindsets, his cruising altitude went up. He found another group. He found other people that believed in more. Arsenio Hall was actually one of his good friends,
Really?
and they were doing some stand up. And they asked what they were just joking around after a set, talking about what they're going to do for the summer. And Arsenio says, "Well, I'm going to Hollywood." And they all laughed. And Steve's like, "Well, what are you going to do that for?" He's like, I'm going to be a TV star." And nobody knew what to say. And Steve was the only one that like didn't make fun of him. And he ended up being in the crowd with Arsenio and making the same leap.
Oh, wow.
And that was part of his leapfrogging to another group and a new mindset and goes, here's what's possible.
Yeah.
So that wasn't possible in an old group, but it's possible in this group. So it really much depends on who you hang out with. But again, the circle, the five closest people, the rule of five, that's been a big one for me. And um, always looking to add one more, you
Yeah,
know?
it's an interesting concept because I think most people can look at their own lives, and any time in there that they tried to break out of something on their own, whether it was a break away from a bad habit or a break into a better one, somebody in their inner circle said that's crazy.
Right.
Why would you do that? And then maybe not even that. A lot of times you'll hear, you'll never do that. This person who you thought was a close friend or your best friend, or maybe even your spouse says something to the effect of, that will never happen. That's a pipe dream. And you're stuck with this information from someone who you love and they love you. And you're excited about your dreams, excited about your new goals, excited about potentially this whole new life for yourself and everybody around you. And you're just told by the people that you respect the most, that will never happen. You're nuts. And so for the last 5 years or so, I've been joking around about when I love telling people, like if I meet somebody new and we actually have an intimate conversation that lasts more than 90 seconds,
Hmm.
and I hear the phrase, you're crazy. I love that. It lets me know I'm on the right path for sure. And it gives just a little bit of kerosene to my diesel fire. It's like, oh, that was a nice little hiccup in energy that I got from you. I appreciate that. And they'll look at you crazy when you say that too, if you're bold enough to say it. But it is interesting that I have found in my life there have been more people who do that, and they're not doing it because they think in their mind before they say it, "Oh, I hate you and I want you not to succeed." They think, "I don't want you to leave me.
Right.
I want you to stay
It's fear.
miserable with me."
Stay here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
we want you. You'll never find someone that has more cigarettes than the guy who wants his friends not to quit. It's the same concept. It's the same concept. You want to get fit? I've got 52 reasons why being fat makes me happy.
Yeah.
And that's what you'll hear. And they'll somehow equate that. And in this wild world we're living in now, somehow obesity is, at least for a short amount of time, was considered just, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's okay. And there are legitimate reasons that people have extra weight, that have too little money, that have all these negative or positive things that you can look at. And ultimately, it's okay, where's the real line that shows positive growth? And how do we continue to stay on that positive page and with people who continue to push us towards that, as opposed to, please don't leave me here in my misery because I like to wallow right here.
That is kind of a callback to one of our last episodes about how big is your dream? Is your dream big enough? Kind of the why. You're honestly, your dream is limited only by, well, of course, yourself, but those around you. Your dream will not be bigger than the people that you surround yourself
They
on a
can
regular
box you in if
basis.
you let them.
It's just
Absolutely.
it's going to be an average of their dreams. So if their dreams are, I'm going to retire with this, just enough to get by, then that's probably what you should have.
Yeah.
You know?
So one of the things that we grew up with and that carried on from there for a long time with my marriage was this little phrase we had in our house when we were trying to figure out finances from month to month, from week to week. And we'd look at this car payment, or sometimes two car payments at a time, and we'd say, man, I can't wait till the cars are paid off. And then we can put that money into, usually it wasn't something positive. It was like, let's go blow the money on a vacation. But the phrase we had was this: well, we're always going to have a car payment.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as that 5 or 6 years, which sounds ridiculous, at a $500 or $600 or $700 a month car payment is gone, guess what? Now you got a 5-year-old car, and we have conditioned ourselves to believe that a 6-year-old car is no longer reliable. I had twins, and my wife came to me and said, "We have to have a new car." And I said, "For what?" And she said, "Because we got an 8-year-old car. It's not reliable for those babies." And I went, "Oh, that sounds right." And we went and got a new car. And it was ridiculous that we convinced ourselves of that so easily. But there was two of us now saying, you know what we should do? Yeah, I know exactly what we should do.
Mhm.
Let's go do this stupid thing together.
Agreement is just the biggest poison
It can be. It
sometimes.
can be.
You
Yeah.
know, finding someone to agree with you is not always the medicine that we're looking for.
Neither one of us took a step back and said, should we think about this?
Hmm.
Do we really need a new car? No, it was, we
And
can.
momentum is a
Let's
real
do it.
thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether it's good or bad, momentum exists in a real way. What I was going for earlier is those who know me know I don't golf that much anymore. I still enjoy going and playing a tournament and playing with other people, but my days of trying to bring down my handicap are on pause at the moment. But I do notice when I play, you know, I've got a group of friends who are pretty good golfers, and I've got other friends who just like to have fun, and that's kind of where I fall in now. But when I go play with my friends who like to have fun, have some drinks, we shoot in the hundreds. We shoot, you know, pretty high. We have a lot of fun, but my expectation is that they miss that green, he missed that green. I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss a little less because I'm a little better. So the green is no longer the target. It's getting around the green because
Mm.
they were in the woods. So as the better golfer who plays more, I'm going to put it close to the green, and we're all going to be happy about
So
that.
you've subconsciously lowered your standard as long as you're better than the guy next to you.
When I'm playing with the lesser of the golfers of
Yeah.
my friends, who I play more than. When I play with my friends who are better golfers and who take it more seriously and are a better handicap, and they go out there and they expect to hit the green, and they drop 1, 2, 3 balls on the green, and I look at the green on the fourth shot, I expect to hit the green.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm a better golfer. Miracles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do play better. And I'm not going to hit the green every time, but when my expectation is to land on the green, if I miss, it's not by much. So it's just amazing how a bad shot with the other guys was dead, and now a bad shot with these guys is just off to the side.
Yeah.
It's just
I can't tell you how many times that I've had this perfect workout regimen and I've had it in place for 3 days or for 30 days or for 90 days. And I can be tired one of those days because you're always tired, right? Motivation's like trying to find a black cat in the dark room. It's just not there sometimes. So you just got to keep doing this thing. But so many times, again, I love my wife to death, but they're like, oh, I didn't get my 9,000 steps in a day because I don't run anymore. I should, but I don't.
you
And
walk a lot.
yeah, so it's 9:40 at night and it's fall and it's misting out. I'm putting my shoes on. She's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "I got 3,000 steps to put in still." And she goes, "You should come to bed. It's cold out." And I go, "Oh, it's never sounded so good.
Hmm.
Never sounds so good when you're tired and the only person that's there to push you is you. Even if it's a spouse who's loved you for 20 plus years, they're not doing it because they don't like you or they don't want you to be better. They're doing it because their comfort zone is right here
Right.
and you're doing something outside of that, and they're honestly just not sure how to feel about that.
Right.
It is really interesting. My wife and I have had several conversations about where we go and these different paths in our world, but how do you recognize those things? How do you recognize when you're on a set pattern that you've been conditioned to from any nature, and at one point you take those 2 seconds to blink and say, "Why am I doing this?" How do you have those moments? Because we don't naturally have them. Someone either has to point them out to us and make us feel bad about them to make us be defensive usually, or maybe the universe just comes down and says, "Try something different. Why are you doing this?" I don't know what it is, but there has to be a way that you can take yourself out of these focuses and sit behind you here and watch yourself go, "What the hell am I doing right now? And is there even a reason? Is there a good reason for it? Why do I crave these things?" And my personal belief is that a lot of it comes down to dopamine, which again is back to comfort. So, what is the easiest thing that I can
Survival.
do? It's what your brain's wired for.
Yeah, our brains are wired for survival, and they're not wired to do difficult, fearful things because for so long of humanity, survival has been the number one
Right.
key.
Absolutely.
We shed muscle, not fat.
Mhm.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, it's great. It's your body can liquefy fast for energy. So when you're brushing your teeth tomorrow, when you're doing your hair, the way you get in your car, I know it sounds ridiculous. Change hands when you brush your teeth. Open your car door with your other
I've
hand.
literally went left-handed
It
brushing my teeth for the last
and
year.
it's weird, isn't
It
it?
it
It's so
not
weird.
anymore, it was.
The way you dry your body off with a towel when you get out of the shower,
Yeah.
just change that a little bit, and you'll find yourself stopping halfway through going, "What the hell is going on? My body's not doing what it's supposed to be doing." Make those little changes physically to engage your brain. And I think it helps when you observe yourself and the rest of the world from that point on. You're going to go to work, you're going to say the same phrases in the morning. You're going to do the same things during the day. Change something physically to wake your brain up to what you're doing. That might help.
On a future episode called Transitions, we'll talk more about this because I have a lot to say on the subject and I don't want to get too far off of this one. But going back to, if you don't have people around you to have those conversations with, those are just going to be thoughts that rattle around your brain
Sure.
that go out your ear because they've got nowhere else to go.
Right.
And then you're going to feel crazy for having those thoughts. So,
Right.
because of that, sometimes I won't say out of desperation, but honestly, because of the beautiful thing called technology, sometimes my circle of five is Andrew Huberman,
Yeah.
Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
Tim Ferriss. These are the people that I seek, and I might take in hours of content because they're speaking the language that I'm interested in speaking. I don't quite, I'm speaking gibberish on it. It's a new language. So I'm, trying to speak half of what they're saying, but without having someone else to fluently hear it from, it's never going to happen. And
Right.
I just, sometimes I can't get enough of that, even though I don't quite understand it all.
Right. And it is okay to be out of your element.
Right.
That means that you are learning something. Again, switch hands with your toothbrush. You'll learn something about yourself and hopefully not hurt yourself in the process. But those moments of discomfort, that's where all growth starts. You can't wake up one morning and go, "I'm super excited about all of these very difficult disciplines I'm going to input in my life."
You might, but it'll be one time.
It will be one time. Maybe you'll get through the day and that would be magical, but that has to come from you. Talked about those night walks that I do. For the longest time that I did that, I have you to thank for that. The 75 hard. Who's the gentleman who created that? I watch this podcast sometimes and I forgot his name.
And now you're going to put me on the spot.
That's right. You'll come back to it.
Yeah.
When I first started doing that a couple of years ago, it was ear pods in, and I listen to music and I walk around, and I'm out in the country, so it's beautiful. It's nighttime, clear skies. I can see stars, and what I'm doing is I'm banging away to the music in my head, and I get my steps in and I go inside. So I don't know if it was dead batteries or what it was, but one of these nights I went out and it was just me and the sounds of the crickets and the wind and the grass and my footsteps on the ground. And there was some moments in there that terrified me because I started to hear my own thoughts engaging in my head and questioning, what did I do today that I could have done better? Now, I probably got that particular thought or some like it from listening to some of the podcasts that you mentioned, but they came from somewhere and there was no noise to drown them out. I had conditioned myself to always be surrounded by noise, to never let myself think about what the hell was really going on inside or outside of me. And it was scary for a while. It took maybe a week or two. And then there was this point where I couldn't wait to get outside in the evening and essentially be with my own thoughts. And those thoughts didn't have to be on anything. They could just be nothing and enjoying the moment that I was in. And it became an island for me to reconnect with myself. And I became a better person for it. And that led to a lot of other smaller disciplines. But it's just, again, we've conditioned ourselves. You get in the car, turn the radio on. I remember, you think about that as an old man thing, like only old men don't listen to the radio when they drive down the road. Maybe there's a reason.
Yeah. I think it's, again, societal changes. Most people I know live in a world of noise. I mean, I think we all do. I mean, we go to work, we get up, we go to work every day. There's the hustle and bustle of daily life. There's TikTok now. There's all kinds of things that distract us and have limited concentration. I know a lot of people that actually turn the TV on to go to sleep. And for about 6 months of my life, I did that. Not too long after I moved out, it's just kind of a rebellious breaking free. I can have the TV on whenever I want because the conditioning of my upbringing.
Cookies at night.
Yeah, things that I could never do. And I never felt worse than, more or less you're brainwashing yourself from the TV at night.
You really were. Yeah.
But, it doesn't make you a bad person to do these things. It's just, not even knowing you're doing them
Right.
is probably the worst thing. The fact that you can look in the mirror and know what you're actually doing in your life, and it's not just a flash that just happens. They're intentional, being intentional,
Yeah.
which another
Very
episode.
important. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention when it comes to conditioning, I think it's a great one. There's obviously the monkey and the banana. We could go over that, but that story's a little bit longer. I think a simple one is the elephant and the steak.
Yeah.
When a baby elephant is obviously young, uh, they put a nice pole in the ground that the elephant can't pull out. They hammer it down there. It tries to pull it out. As it grows up, they don't need to do that anymore. The elephant's been conditioned. I'll never break free. So when you see them at the circus, they literally have a tiny little stake they just put in the ground. It just assumes I'll never break free. It doesn't even try. Watching animals do this and knowing that we do it as well is, again, another moment of clarity and just saying, what is it that I do every day where I'm just staring at a stake and don't even know that I'm tied down? I
Yeah.
don't even see the rope. I don't see the chain. I'm just living that life because those before me have, and I'm supposed to, and the person after me is supposed to. It's
Yeah.
just, the society that we're in, and those are the rules.
Yeah. Most of our shackles are created by our mind, and we've constructed our own prisons, as they say. And we do that for a lot of reasons, and we're not here to judge those reasons. We're here to say, open your eyes to them and ask yourself, is it worth the rest of your life to stay in that prison? On the flip side of this, there was an experiment in the 1950s with Dr. Richter, which involved drowning rats. And it sounds terrible, but bear with me. He took rats and put them basically in a pool of water, and on average, they would give up and sink and drown at 15 minutes ish, right? So the part of the experiment that is about hope, even though that starts out terribly, is at that 15-minute mark, or when they would start to sink, he would pull the rat out, dry it off, give it a few minutes of comfort, and then he put the rat back in the water. Again, sounds terrible. So before we had an average time of 15 minutes to swim and then die. But the rat is now given hope as we see it because it was pulled from the water before death. When they put the rats back in the water, on average, the rat would last much longer. Not 90 minutes, but 90 hours it would swim
Wow.
before it gave up. 90 hours from that one moment of hope that it was given. Now, this is a dumb mammal, and to some degree, we are, but some
Sure.
of those things, they still cross over. I think that when you meet the person at the gas station or the grocery store and you tell them that they have a nice outfit on today, or you make it super simple and you smile at them and say, have a great day, and you walk away, you don't ask anything of them, you don't engage, have a great, whatever it is, that indication of connection, or that, whatever you want to call it, that connection you just gave to another human being might be enough to get them through that day or that month. That person might then change that with somebody else. And I'm not saying that we have to go out and be weird with people, but inside yourself, you have to find that hope from somewhere. Whether it's listening to this, or talking to your spouse, or going to your preacher, or sitting outside, I don't care what it is. You will find stories of hope all through humanity. There's libraries filled with their pages of this stuff. So anything you can get yourself to internalize, to give yourself hope, it goes miles.
And I think that's where we want to take this is this. There's been a lot of negative connotation in this, but it's all to say it's just until you wake up. Once you wake up and you can surround yourself with the people, the positive, hopeful thing is here, there are plenty of amazing people out there that you just don't know yet. One of my coaches says strangers are just friends you haven't met yet.
Yeah.
So it's just, there's so many people out there. Don't be afraid to say hi to somebody. They might be somebody that can enrich your life and make it better. There's just, you don't know what you don't know. I mean, the 4 minute mile was an impossible task until it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we found out that it could be done, just immediately all kinds of people can do it. Isn't that
Absolutely.
crazy?
Yep.
So I think that's the story that we want to take away from this is that conditioning is real, and because it is real, you can condition yourself to do anything, and that's where we're going to go with that. So, Matt, that was a good one. We'll see you next time on Breakthrough Stories.
See you.